And it's a familiar story. He wanted something romantic. She, on the other hand, said she only saw him as a friend. Here's the unfamiliar part. He's now suing her for $2 million because she friend-zoned him. This is happening in Singapore, according to court documents. The man claims the rejection has, quote, caused him sustained trauma, leading to a dip in his earning capacity. The woman is contesting the $2.3 million lawsuit, which is scheduled to be heard in Singapore's High Court next week. The Washington Post points out that, quote, the lawsuit illustrates a challenge faced by women around the world, that men sometimes feel entitled to their affection.
Crazy. This Singapore man apparently is suing this woman for over $2 million for friend zoning him. And something I noticed in this report, it's so messed up, it's randomly. Every image that they show as they pan over this is back of some guy's head. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Lonely, I was gonna curse. A lonely guy just walking through the subway. Whoever posed for that's probably like, how come my back has to be in this story? Anyway, so he's suing her for the emotional distress, the things he's had to go through. Here's a bit of this love story and the details behind it. The man in this case has been identified as drone racing executive Kay Koshigan, I believe, who filed the lawsuit after she rejected his advances and prompted sustained trauma, end quote, reductions in his earning capacity. And according to that suit, Koshigan met the woman for the first time in 2016. They got along fine until September of 20 when they, quote, became misaligned about how they saw their relationship. It's the most basic thing. When she saw him as a friend, he apparently considered her to be his closest friend. And then when she asked to see him less, he got upset and did not react well. He threatened legal action just a month later, citing emotional distress that we pointed out. She initially agreed to go to counseling sessions with him. Jesus, she's really lenient here. But ultimately, Koshigan was unable to accept her reasons for not wanting any relationship or to associate with him. He just can't handle it. I think maybe the emotional distress he was going through was a bit self-inflicted. So what are his chances to win this? Let's watch.
Kristen, this is a confusing and sort of hard story to even understand that it's in the courts. What are the chances of this man seeing a dime from the legal action he's taking against this woman for simply not wanting to be in a relationship with him?
You know, based on your last segment, I think I might have a better chance of scoring Beyonce tickets than this man getting a dime out of this lawsuit. And that's because there simply is just no merit here. There is no legally recognized harm in being placed in the friend zone. And quite frankly, this lawsuit is so ridiculous in the States and even as it is posed currently in Singapore, that if there wasn't a victim on the other side being harassed and being intimidated, the meritless nature of this suit would be laughable.
Most of the time when fellas get tossed in the friend zone, they kind of keep it on the low. They don't tell their buddies because then you get clowned a bit if you've got mean friends. But this guy is promoting this entire thing to levels that I don't think anyone would expect. And now, internationally, probably a laughing stock over this whole thing. Have you ever had to friend zone someone, Francesca? And did they respond like this?
My God, I mean, if they did, that would mean that I was worth at least 2.3 mil. So like, cool, thank you. Buddy, this is why you got friend zone in the first place. You fragile ass baby man. Like, you can't take a friend zoning. Maybe it's because your breath, bro, and your toe hairs are long. You should trim those. You know, maybe it's because you are a whiny bitch. I'm sorry. You're gonna whine like this and sue her. Oh, I've taken a hit financially. Oh, how much you making? Are you making as much as women make in comparison to your whole dollar? Is it 70% of what you used to make? This is just ridiculous. And shoe on the other foot, you could absolutely build a case for women who are harassed on the daily for unrequited affection and love. People demand, I mean, hello, we're on the internet. You know how many weird ass parasocial relationships of people demanding of my time? You're like, you didn't answer my, I don't know you. I don't owe you anything. I owe you nothing. Love you, TYT. I owe you nothing. Like straight up, people need to understand this. And it's asked of women all the time. If anything, we should be suing for fragile dudes like this.
Emotional distress surrounding having to say no 18 times. What she said no is politely as I think I've ever heard. She decided she was gonna go counseling with her friend because he wanted more to go to counseling. Couples don't go to counseling when they're fighting over money and child rearing. Come on, bro. But
this is what she's doing. She's bending over backwards to try and appease him. Why? Because a lot of these stories actually end horribly. They end with the dude becoming violent. So why do you think also women feel coerced into relationships? Because they're afraid of men saying, we're looking out for your feelings and we're not even sleeping with you yet. Ugh. I hate patriarchy.
It's what we're used to. And apparently it's what he thinks he can capitalize off of, but he won't. He's just got some bad press.